There is an endless sea of podcasts about entrepreneurship. Talking about it, but not living it. We live it every day. This is Inside the Wolf's Den, an entrepreneurial journey with Sean and Joni Wolfswinkle, talking about real estate investing, but also encompassing general subjects in regards to owning small to medium-sized businesses. And of course, all the struggles that business owners must overcome to be successful. This is Inside the Wolf's Den. And this is Sean and Joni Wolfswinkle.
Welcome back, and we welcome you to Inside the Wolf's Den, here with Sean and Joni Wolfswinkle. So how's your day going?
It's been awesome.
Yeah, good. It's Friday, so it's when we're recording this, and so it's good. It's always good to go into the weekend and have fun with the family this weekend, so and celebrate Mother's Day. So we're here also with Brett Moses, the producer, and again, couldn't do this without him. So we're excited to be here, and let's have fun. So we're going to do something a little different. I'm going to interview Joni today. I'm going to, she's going to share all her insights of what makes her such an incredible woman and a great wife and mother and just why I have so much admiration for her. So,
well, thank you.
Yeah, let's get into it. What makes you great? So let's start off with what makes you a great wife. This is going to be good.
To start with, I think, extreme patience.
You demonstrated a little bit of that today.
Yes, for sure. Have a household of Tauruses, bullheaded, stubborn, likes to be right all the time. So
as we usually are.
Yeah, in your mind. And there's times where I just have to not that I give in to everything, but I'm giving. I know when, you're having maybe a bad day, you need to take time for yourself. And so, I tend to let you have your space. And the same thing, you let me have my space when, vice versa.
Yeah, it's great. So we've been married for 17 years now, and then together 24 years. So it's high school sweethearts. So
I think communication also has been, plays a big role in that. We've always had an open line of communication, good, bad, ugly. I mean, no secrets. We tell each other everything. So
yeah, it's vital. I think it's extremely important, and you can't have secrets or things, going on. We just communicate everything and finances, anything.
Yeah,
how we're feeling.
And I think if there's any challenges, I think the biggest challenge really is it's always been working together. I think, we're together all the time, 24/7. And I think the most challenging part is coming home and, taking business home with you, right? Because I think when couples, have arguments, it's about finances or whatever the case may be is. And so we found, and I think what's helped us is when we go home at night, like we don't talk business. We don't, let's save that for in the office, and when we're at home, it's you and I time.
Mm-hmm. So wouldn't you say we've, kind of like our brand promise, with our clients, is we have their backs, and I think that's something that we've also
always
demonstrated.
I mean, that's it has stuck with us, and even in our company, that's who we are. We have each other's backs.
Yeah. In your opinion, what do you think to help the relationship to last 17 years? Other than what you maybe mentioned, is there anything else you feel you do?
I think I spice it up.
Yeah.
I'm a little spicy. No, I mean, I think...
You are Latina, so yeah.
So yeah, I do have some spice there. But no, I just think that, when I think a lot of us think that when you get married, you kind of just let yourself go, right? And I mean, it's... no, I want you to look at me the same as you did when you were attracted to me before we got married. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's something that... I have always done, I think, is, dress to impress you, no matter what it is.
Yeah, I think you. Yeah, I think as you've aged, you've only gotten more beautiful. So I definitely you keep our relationship alive. Like, you work very hard fitness wise, which we'll get into later. And then you do a lot to take care of yourself. And I know it's not easy. I can't even imagine having kids and the going through that and managing work life and business and kids and family and everything else that comes with it, and then that's a priority to you. Yeah. So I think that's a lot.
I mean, it is a priority because I want to feel confident, and if I didn't look good or I wasn't feeling right, I feel like working out and looking great. That just gives me more confidence.
Awesome. So. And you're not only extremely beautiful on the outside, but I think inside too. I think you always have a smile on your face and a good spirit. And so is there stuff you do, maybe morning routine or something that helps, with that?
Yeah, I think so. The first thing, every morning when I get up, I always, write in my journal, what I'm grateful for. Always start with gratitude, right? Because I think that's really going to set your day, really. Even when I get into the office in the morning, I write, I have these thank you cards that I write in, and whatever I'm feeling that day, if it's to an employee or a family member or, whoever, what I'm feeling, I'll just write a thank you note to them and say, thank you, I appreciate you. And that just makes me feel even, it makes me feel so much better, and my day just goes smooth.
Nice. As far as last question about a relationship, any challenges you've had to overcome or face, I guess, over those last 24 years, 17 years married?
I think, again, the biggest challenge is working together and balancing that, because it's not easy. Not everybody can do it, and I get asked that all the time, like how can you work with your spouse 24/7 and still love him and be attracted to him and not kill him, and so there's been
some of those moments. Probably.
Yeah. There's been a lot of those moments where I want to just pound you on the head, but no. But I think that's been the biggest challenge. But we've been able to balance that.
Yeah, I think you keep it. The thing that you do extremely well is like business is business and personal life is personal life, and it's hard to keep those boundaries, but you do a pretty good job of it.
It really is. Yeah, I think I don't like to mix business with personal. Like when I'm focused, on business, that I'm focused 100% on that. And same thing with personal and friends and family. I'm 100% focused on them.
So yeah, I think it's hard, and it's a hard balance, but you do a good job of balancing those two and shutting them off and kind of as best compartmentalizing them as you can. So yeah. As being a mother, and we have a 10-year-old son and a 5-year-old, 6-year-old now. She's 6 last month, little girl. So how have you, for the last 10 years, managed being a working mother? How's that been?
It really prioritizing myself and knowing what's important and making sure that I get my rocks in, where it's spiritual, fitness, time with the family, all these things. I want to make sure I get these in. So, that's been probably the biggest struggle is, knowing what my priorities are. And because, there's been times where, I'm going 100 miles an hour and, it's, and it's time for me to give the kids a bath and, feed them, whatever. And, I feel like I haven't done anything all day, and so I've learned just to prioritize myself so I can make sure that I can get in all that I need.
Just you say no to other
absolutely.
A lot of things.
Yeah. Yeah. If it doesn't fit in my, wheelhouse, then I can't do it. And sometimes I have to disappoint people, and that's the sucky part about it. But I got to know what's important for myself.
Awesome. And how do you make your kids a priority as far as trying to balance all those rocks and those buckets? How do you?
Yeah,
make them
so
feel-
I mean, I think date nights is big in our family. I think spending time, like quality, not just time, but quality time with Lucas and Mila, and doing what they want to do. And I mean, they don't want to. They don't want to hear the business, they don't want to hear, they just want you to listen to them. And I've noticed that, we actually went to an improv class. We did an improv class, and we talked a lot about, or learned a lot about active listening. And so, just being there and letting my children just talk, and you just being there listening to them, I mean, that just makes their day. You don't have to buy them anything. You don't have to take them anywhere. Just being there listening to them makes their entire day.
Yeah, I agree. And it's some especially with this, COVID-19 being home a lot more. I think it really, really showed that with them, because it's like we couldn't go anywhere, couldn't go do anything.
And it's easy to be distracted because, they're on Zoom calls with their teachers. We're on Zoom calls with, our staff, or in meetings, and and they're just dying for your attention. So we had to kind of learn a whole new balance in trying to balance that.
Yeah, but they just need the simplest things. It's just time and attention, full attention, no phone, no distractions, no emails, and just focused on them. And I think.
And they'll call us out too. I mean, when we're on our phones, we're like, Mom, you're on your phone. Dad, you're on your phone. And that's just a constant reminder, like, okay, do what you say you're going to do, and put your phone away. That's not important right now. Know what's important.
They know. Yeah. They know what you value.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's all. The stereotypes and judgments, have you had to overcome any being a working mother?
Oh yeah, all the time. I mean, because again, a lot of Lucas and Mila's friends' mothers are stay-at-home moms, and then also me having to travel quite a bit for my job. I have to, and so you get friends and family saying, oh, you need to, be home with your children, and that's where you need to be, they need you. So yeah, I mean, and I've had to learn to have thicker skin, and be tough about it. Because really at the end of the day, it's you. I mean, it's about you, and it's not about who cares about what other people think. Right.
Yeah, awesome. We should, I'll take a couple steps back. Can you just quickly, for the audience and people listening that don't know us very well, what's your role, I guess, within our company, and as we talk about that and get into a little bit of business and what you do, what role do you play?
Yeah, so I'm the CEO of Real Property Management, the property management company that we own and operate, and so I for the most part run it.
Awesome. So with you're also the broker and CEO of both management companies, and then also co-owner of a real estate holding company, and then the turnkey as well.
Right.
So I mean, you play a lot of hats, but your primary role would be the broker, owner of and running the management.
The management companies, correct.
And we have so we have obviously locations in multiple states, and a lot of times you are the one that has to travel, for that, and you are the one that goes. Is that how do you manage that with the kids and juggling that? As far as.
Yeah, I mean, actually, they see it in their. A lot of times, Mila will be like, "Mom, can't wait for you to come back," and she knows that I'm going for work, and I want to empower her too, that she can also be independent. And so, I mean, it makes them feel good that, I'm doing something, I'm working hard, so, I mean, and when I do come back, it's all about them. So I, again, prioritize myself to know, okay, I'm back in town now. It's time to spend time with family.
Nice. And you, I think you make all of us feel appreciated, and you show you that you value us, and when you're away, and it does. I think you do a good job of trying to balance that. And I know it's not easy, because that's a lot to intake and to but yeah, you do a good job of it.
Thank you.
The let's see here. So have this is a good question. So because it's not like you stepped into our businesses. So can you explain? You really were involved since
the very beginning.
Yeah, since we were nothing.
Right.
And do you enjoy? How did you envision it from the beginning?
I mean, it's again going back to my work ethic. You know, I've always have been a hard worker. I've always wanted to work. I have never, wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. I mean, I tried it, and the only reason why I say I tried it is because I was pregnant with Lucas, and I was on bed rest, and so I had to work from home, and it wasn't a good fit for me. I for the most part went crazy, so I was ready to, have the baby to get back out there. In fact, actually, with both kids, I think I was, back in the office, within a month or so. I know with Mila for sure, I had the bassinet in the office, and she was in there while I was working. So, I just have always had that work ethic, and I wasn't the type to just stay home.
Yeah, you wanted to be involved.
Mm-hmm.
So you were involved in the beginning, and so you wanted to. And what made you choose to stay, I guess, involved and not become a stay-at-home mom?
I love what I do. I have a passion. I have dreams and goals, and I mean, it might change down the road when I fulfill my dreams and my goals. But right now, I mean, I love what I do. And honestly, I think my kids have learned a ton being around other children. They've adapted really, fairly well. Both of them have been in daycare. Which, I mean, some moms might not agree with it, but for me, I mean, it worked for me. And both kids are bright and way ahead of themselves. So I have no complaints.
Nice. And you don't feel you're neglecting or being a mom and spending several hours away? I think the key is communication with them. So
Yeah.
you've always been very good at communicating with them.
Why I'm doing what
exactly.
I'm doing. Yeah.
And you're making them aware of why you do what you do and who you're helping, and helping people build their retirement accounts and business.
And that's something that we always talk to them about. It's what we're helping, others, and so they know that, and we involve them as well. I mean, we go to several different masterminds, and we actually go to masterminds where they take their children with them, and so. Some of their best buddies are, with friends of ours that are in masterminds, and, they get to hang out with them, and we go on mission trips together. And so, we try to involve them as much as possible.
Nice. Yeah. And I think it's important.
Yeah.
And they're aware. And we also involve them in our businesses.
Yeah.
Until they get
I mean, both of them actually own rental properties. We actually built couple of rental properties for them on Little Wolf. So, times are, Lucas has went and collected rent. So,
we show them the owner statements, and obviously we're obsessed with the Wolf, so our last name, but there's 3 houses we have on Little Wolf Street.
Little Wolf.
Yeah, and so they go over the owner statements with those and see the rental income and repairs, and so it's truly involving them in the business so they understand it. And they're obviously young now, but as they grow up, they'll continue to see how that works and how to buy and sell real estate and own long-term wealth building vehicles.
Yeah, so. And funny story, Lucas, I think during Christmas time, he knows, he's smart enough to know so he asked us if his rent income has come in for the month. And I'm like, why are you asking that? Well, it was because it was Christmas and he wanted to buy his cousins, Christmas gifts, but.
So he wouldn't spend it already. Yeah. How do you overcome or any challenges as far as working with your spouse every day? You've touched on some of it.
I mean, I think, again, the biggest thing is learning, not to take it home with you. And, in the office, I think the biggest challenge is employees sometimes will test us. They know what they can get away with. So sometimes they'll come to you, or sometimes they'll come to me, depending on what the situation is, right? But I think you and I having an understanding like what your role is, and so you're really good about if they come to you, well, that's not my department, so go ask Joni, or vice versa. So just really knowing in what your role is.
Yeah, it's obviously been a struggle because I think I'm the softer one, so you're the
usually whenever they want to get away with something,
they'll come to me. But I've gotten very good at saying you need to talk to Joni. So that's been I should put a sign outside. You just need to talk to Joni. And that's why I think your nickname's the Boss Lady. So you didn't have your mug today, but you do a good job of wearing that hat, and you know when to be firm and when to give. And so is it for people that are out there and maybe they're bringing in their wife, maybe I know we grew it together, but do you have any recommendations for maybe where the male was the leader, or vice versa, and then that dynamic is that?
Yeah, I mean, again, it goes back to knowing what your role is. Like, I knew early on what I wanted to do, what role in the company I wanted. And I had no problem with, you leading our, turnkey business and, but I mean, as a woman coming into the business, like, no one understand that, you have to like what you're going to do and figuring out that role for yourself.
Mm-hmm. And I think from the male perspective is give you that rope, and give you that leadway to lead, and not try to overstep you and let you become your own person within your role.
Right.
And then when you're ready to ask for advice, then you'll come, and vice versa. And I think
that's something that we've learned, is like you won't say anything unless I'm asking for your advice. But if I open that door, then be willing to accept it.
Right? Yeah, exactly. And that's been a couple of challenges, I think, because when I've given it, I don't think you like the answer sometimes.
I think I've learned to say, look, I'm just venting here, and so knowing when you're just venting and when you're truly asking for your opinion. And so, I think that's actually helped in our relationship tremendously is, I come out and say, hey, Sean, I'm not asking for your opinion. I'm just venting here. So I don't just listen to me. Right.
Exactly. Because we, it's been studied that, us males want to be the fixers and just get in there and fix it. And,
us women, sometimes we just want to vent and let it all out, and sometimes there's not anybody else but your spouse to kind of.
So this is very good advice, guys. This is will save you thousands of dollars in marriage counseling. Is wives, if you just tell your significant other, that you just are looking. That you're just venting right now. It'll help us understand that hey, you just want somebody to listen to you and just not try to fix it, not try to repair it. Just listen.
Yeah, and I tell you that I'm like, look, I don't want you to fix it. Like, I just want you to listen to me. And so having that open line of communication and knowing what your spouse really wants and looking out of that is important.
Yeah, I agree. And I've had to learn to do that because it's so easy to just what are you talking about? Just fix it. So fitness, I think your physical beauty is awesome. You work very, very hard at it. Let's start off with your morning routine as far as that goes. Yeah,
I get up at 5:15 every morning, and I don't miss that. Even if, I have a light day, I try to work out, 6 days a week and have at least one day to recover. But even on my recovery days, I'm still, getting up early because that's part of my routine, I think it's important to be an early riser.
And so you work out every morning?
Mm-hmm. Work out every morning.
Do you do anything else in your morning routine? Or?
I journal, and I'll alternate listening to a podcast or reading for 15 minutes. So it's part of my morning routine.
And then you're back in the office by 8.
Right, and I think that again, to have that morning routine really kind of sets the tone for the day. When I don't work out or when I don't get up to journal, then I feel like, my day's out of whack, and it doesn't go as planned. So.
And how do you fit it all in? Is it just getting up?
Getting up early. Yep. And if I have to be somewhere at a certain time, then sometimes I'll have to get up, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, earlier just to fit it all in. But again, I'm pretty disciplined with my schedule. I mean, if you look at my calendar, I have it from 5:15 until, I go to bed at night. Everything is scheduled in there, and I'm extremely disciplined when it comes to that.
I'll finish with this. So how do you stay so sexy?
Now you're putting me on the spot. Well, I mean, again, routine and, I take care of myself. I want to look good and feel good. I think number one, I had 2 really big babies. I had a 9-pounder and an 8-pounder. And so, if I didn't work out, that weight's not going to come up by itself. So that was a big thing is I had 2 really big kids, and having kids really changes your body. And so, I didn't want to, lose that confidence. And so.
Awesome. Yeah, and you had a good story. I think you told me earlier this week about when you went to the dermatologist. And what do you do, like daily, that's different than probably a lot of people out there, especially during the time we're in right now, where a lot of people are staying home.
Yeah, I mean, I keep my routine no matter what's going on. I dress up, no matter what's going on. I was telling Sean the other day that I went to the dermatologist, and I walk in, and he's like, looking at me like, wow, you look great today. I'm like, oh, well, thank you. He's like, well, why are you so dressed up? And I'm like, well, why wouldn't I be? My smart ass sometimes. Why wouldn't I be? He's like, well, we're in the middle of COVID-19. Everybody's at home in yoga pants. And I was like, no, not me. I mean, I still work in, and I expect my employees to dress to impress. So I don't think there's been a day that I've never, dressed up and, looking
in
professionals.
Heels every day.
Yeah.
So. Been in heels, dressed, and even when you did stay home, I think every day you still dressed up.
Yeah, I mean, we're on Zoom calls, and I expect my staff to be ready and prepared to go. So, I'm going to lead that.
Yeah, I think the big takeaways are you definitely have a routine. You definitely are disciplined and structured, and it's not by chance that you are who, it's not by chance that you're as special as you are. It's hard. And you are special. I'm not taking it away from you. I'm saying you do a lot to.
Yeah, it's hard work, dedication, and extreme focus. I don't. I'm not the type of person to complain either. So initially right after having kids, it's like, well, how am I going to get to the gym? Well, that's not an excuse. Pop in a video or, do some yoga at home. And for us, we created a gym in our house, so I didn't have to go to the gym and have to use that as an excuse to not go. So, you just do whatever it takes and don't make excuses.
Awesome. Well, thank you for letting me interview you today, and I enjoyed it. I hope people got a lot out of it, and
it was fun.
I hope they, see what I see in you every day and how special you really are. And I thank you for all that you do for me and our family and our kids and our business. And so I just love you very much, and I thank you. So. Well, I will end that with Inside the Wolf's Den, and we appreciate you being with us today, and we'll see you next week.
You've been listening to Inside the Wolf's Den, an entrepreneurial journey with Sean and Joni Wolfswinkle. Tons of entrepreneurial podcasts are out there, talking. But Joni and Sean are living it every single day. Their portfolio now includes many franchises and medium-sized businesses. We talk about the trials and motivators of successfully running a business. Join us again soon for another podcast. But until then, reach out on the website at InsideTheWolfsDen.com, on Facebook at Inside the Wolf's Den, on Instagram at Inside the Wolf Den. We'll see you again soon. This is Inside the Wolf's Den. We'll see you next time.